Hello, everybody. I'd like to call to order the JSMSVision Committee for April 14th, 2025. Our first official meeting to determine the Jordan Small Middle School. Try to figure out as many possible things we'd like to maybe add or move into there. So, call to order that. I think the first thing we should do while we're here is just introduce who is here, why you've selected or why you wanted to become a member of this committee, and maybe some of your background also as well. So we could start from down there.
I'm Public Works Director for Raymond. I'm here because I'm staff. I was told to be here. So.
I'm Sue Accardi. Well, I've lived in this town for a long time. My kids went to the school, and I'm interested in what's going to happen with this school. I'm involved with the Raymond Village Library, and I know that's going to have a big part in here. And I did work in that building years ago, so I'm very familiar with it, and just felt like I wanted to do this.
I'm Debbie Tarr, and I am the current volunteer coordinator for Age Friendly Raymond, and I kind of wanted to be on this so that we could get maybe use a couple of rooms for seniors. I taught in Raymond schools for over 30 years, and now I'd like to help out the seniors, and they're a very appreciative group. So.
My name is Laurie Wallace. I've lived in Raymond for 34 years. Our son went through the school system here until he couldn't. I'm president of the Lions Club. I am in a prior life, I ran the Age Friendly Raymond group, and we created the survey that was sent out to all of Raymond residents, and overwhelmingly, a community center was what we were looking for. It's what we are lacking as a community, given our geographical setup and the number of people we are. So this is a really exciting opportunity to be a part of what comes next for Raymond.
Great. I'm currently Joe Crocker, and I'm currently the interim town manager. I also am the Parks and Rec director here for the last 5 years, and been involved in Parks and Recreation since I was 18, so it's about 20 years. So I hope to bring some of my experiences in other communities and municipalities, working out of community centers and sometimes not community centers. Sometimes they're old armories and things like that. So I hope I can bring some knowledge of those aspects to this committee.
I'm Grace Levitt. We've lived here for 40 years. Time flies. Both of our daughters went to Jordan Small when they were younger, and we have 2 grandchildren in the school, in the district as well. I currently serve on the RSU 14 Board of Directors, although I'm not here in any official capacity as far as that in regards to that. But I've been very interested in trying to really bring back a sense of community in Raymond. I think we lost a lot in recent years, and hopefully this is a way, using this facility, it's a great opportunity to use it the best we can to reestablish a sense of community in Raymond. I think we've got a real diverse population, and we can be doing more things together for the greater good. So really hopefully we can make some good recommendations on ways to use this facility and plan accordingly. And there was one other thought, but it's gone because I rambled on too long. That's it.
I'm Pete Lockwood, and I've also lived in Raymond for 38 years, so longtime resident. 2 of my children went through the Jordan Small School and system and were involved in the RED program after school, which I thought was absolutely wonderful, being a single parent at that time. It was just a great opportunity for them to be in a safe place while they waited for me to come pick them up. So it was really good, and I look forward to hopefully being able to do something like that, include something like that with the Jordan Small School. I looked over the comprehensive plan. There's some obviously some great information in there that will help guide us, I think. I worked at Bath Ironworks for 31 years. I was in design and engineering and also in production. I have an interest in design and building, and I'm also on the Zoning Board of Appeals for Raymond. So, this looks like a great opportunity to participate in what this town is going to do next.
Hi, I'm Deborah Clark, and I've lived in Raymond for the last 23 years. I'm recently retired from the Maine State Library, where I worked as a library consultant and library management specialist. So I've been in every library in southern Maine. And I also, several years before, worked as the middle school librarian at Great New Gloucester Middle School. So I'm well acquainted with the area and understand youth services as well as helping our older adult population. So this is a really exciting opportunity to try to make sure that we're meeting all the needs of everyone in our community.
Well, that's great. Thank you, everybody. I think this is a great, diverse group. I know we don't have all members here, but I'm excited to learn more about everyone's background and what you guys can put forth in this new venture. So, next order of business is nominate a chair and secretary. The chair will work closely with me to kind of just make sure that all of our action items are being tasked and on the agenda and followed through. And then we also need a secretary just to take notes of the meeting. Doesn't have to be anything very specific, but just kind of the highlights and anything like that. Anything that might come up that should be noted in this agenda items. So, any move to nominate?
I'm happy to be secretary.
Okay.
I nominate Pete.
So
Self-nominate.
can someone motion?
Second.
Thank you, David.
Perfect.
Okay.
So we got our secretary, Lori. Thank you very much.
Myself.
All right, so, I mean, I take it from here?
Do you want the gavel?
No.
Oh, sorry, was there a nomination for Pete?
I nominate
Okay.
Pete for chair.
Okay, great. Good.
All in favor?
All in favor, yeah. There we go. Thank you, Pete.
Sorry about that, Joe. I got ahead of myself on the second.
No, it's all right.
All right, well, thank you. Appreciate the confidence, and hopefully I can do a good job to support all of you and the town of Raymond to make this move forward. I'd also like to thank Joe. I think you put this together as far as the agenda and got our initial meeting set up. I appreciate your initiative to do that.
Thank you.
And help us get started. So it says that our first item then after the chair and secretary is review the charge, which is to formulate as many ideas as possible for the Jordan Small Middle School. This is the conceptual phase. And that's basically, I think, agrees with what was written in the visioning committee application form that we all probably looked at. Does anybody have any questions or additions to that?
I would just add that we kind of keep in mind all of the town facilities that we currently have, since some things may ultimately end up being shifted to this facility, and just kind of having a broad picture of what is available, what might be, again, moved into that building at some point. I know there was talk of maybe the library going in there, who knows, but to just keep in mind, and maybe having a listing of all the different buildings that we do have.
Right. I think that's a good point, Grace. And I was thinking earlier too, Nathan, thank you for the floor plan of Jordan Small School. It will obviously help us as we get into how much space is actually available up there. This is a lot more space than I remember when my kids were there. It was obviously a long time ago that they were there, but there's definitely a lot of space up there.
Yeah.
And there are, you know, when you read through the comprehensive plan and talk to other people, there are a lot of ideas out there and a lot of wants and wishes. So I think we definitely do have our work cut out for us to see what we can fit in there comfortably and what makes sense. The next thing is Jordan Small walkthrough, which, again, that was something I'm going to bring up tonight. I hope that we could do something like that. Does everybody feel comfortable with that? Should be, and I think I would add that any of the buildings, Grace, like you mentioned, that we should make a list of, that those buildings we'd also like to take a look at. And I don't know if floor plans are available for some of those facilities or not, Nathan, but
We don't have, so I think what we're looking at is town office. I think I've got some concept plans of the town office. It could be easily duplicated and made fit what's really there. This building's a square box and library.
right.
And then Joe's got Parks and Rec, so he's kind of scattered out into a couple of different locations. One we lease right now.
Yeah, the Raymond Village Community Church is right now our home base that we're
Is that
leasing
where,
short
have you
term.
guys moved in there?
Yeah,
I remember there was some talk at one of the meetings about that happening.
yeah, and we can tour that too, kind of show what we've currently are doing there, and
How is that space working out for you guys right now? As
it's
far as, is there enough space and that type of thing, or?
it's great for office space. So we're out of Public Works.
Right.
Nathan and I were busting at the seams in our office, and we added one more person. So it's as far as office space, it's really great. For programming and events, we're still a little bit limited. You probably don't want to have any more than 40 to 50 in that little common area right now. So,
Right.
There was enough space for 2,500 eggs.
oh yeah, Grace. That's right.
To say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was about what 16 Grace egg stuffing.
Excuse me?
The egg stuffing party was there.
But yeah,
About
there was
16?
a good group that
Yeah.
showed up to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I can remember using that space when my son was in Scouts,
Yep.
and Lloyd's son was there too at the same time, so yeah. Yeah,
So
we
this-
used that quite a bit.
The summer camp has used Camp Hines. but
Correct.
That's just an arrangement that's been made?
Yeah, that's just a rental we do every summer. So we rent it from them. We use Messer Hall and the field space area there for summer camp. So yeah, we're pretty scattered. We have that. Then in Tasseltop Park as well, but we can't move that to the Jordan Small Middle School because that's on Sebago Lake. And yeah, everything else is we rent. Camp Agawam Fields, anything like that.
And this is a question I should know the answer to, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I don't. This building is part of the town facilities now, or do we still have some arrangement with the
No,
RSU?
We own this.
We own this,
Yes.
okay.
This building.
Right.
So for other walkthrough sites, Pete, we have Town Hall, Library, Raymond Village Community Church. Is there anything else, Nathan?
I think, did you mention the library?
Yes.
Library. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep. Okay.
Those seem to be the three main
Yeah.
ones that have interest right now, and
Okay.
then whatever we can dream up, I guess.
So I guess the next steps, Pete, might be just to set up potential dates. I think it'll be easier for our facilities, but
I think the school facility, I didn't ask Bill when I talked to him the other day, but I would assume that would either have to be after hours or after school closes. We're pretty close to school closing.
so we can actually, we do have programs in there, so it might be good to go during our program time.
Yep.
So we have futsal, which is indoor soccer going,
And I-
Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we could, I know the building will be open that time.
I'd like to ask and see if Bill could go with us. They have poured a ton of money into that building in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And I think that would be good information to have, so we're not duplicating stuff or looking. I think that'd be important if that's
Yeah.
something you guys would like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So who is Bill?
Bill Hansen's the facilities manager for the RSU.
Okay.
He's the guy in charge of all the buildings.
So my-
Question, could we get in April vacation week? Would
So-
that,
I can check, that's next week.
Probably would have to go during the day because the custodians change their schedule.
Okay.
So they will get out by, I think, 4 or 5. So that's the only downside to that. Which is why I was going to suggest this week is going to be too soon. Probably the next one where we have programs and we could meet after probably 5 is April 29th or May 1st. April 29th is Tuesday and May 1st is Thursday. So that would be the 2 easiest because we know the facility will be open after 5.
What were those dates, Bill?
April 29th and May 1st.
So everybody want to take a quick look and see what those look like?
Not very good for me, but I'm fairly familiar with the building. So
I can do either one of those days, so
So can I?
Yep.
Deb can,
I can.
or I can.
I can do it, I can do either one of those days.
Okay, perfect. And we can contact Bill and
Okay.
see if he can make it either
One of
of
those
those
2
days.
days.
Yeah.
How about the little firehouse that's up here? Do we own that building?
District 2?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yeah, that's all ours.
Is that office space and 2?
They've got, the fire department's got students that stay on their end. There's a bunk room in there.
Okay.
And all I've got on my end is the garage. There's no office space.
Students sleep in there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they don't sleep at the big
No,
facility?
they've got 2 down here, and then I think there's 2 or 3 down the village.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, okay.
As far as the other town facilities, is it easier to maybe meet at town hall with the minibus and then drive to the facilities?
Yeah, we can
Would
do
that make sense for everybody?
It's fine.
Okay.
The only other one is, there's one in North Yarmouth that I've mentioned before, that at least part of that building was the school, and then they redid a good
Okay.
portion of it as well, but it's a nice community center with maybe some
Well,
ideas.
White Rock School in Gorham, they made that into a,
Right, they've got Gordon
55.
on the list, so.
is that on the list?
Yeah.
Oh, the Gorham.
I'm sorry, everybody. This is for the town facilities first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about, I'm sorry, I
It's all right.
thought you were on E,
Um,
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Town facilities, okay.
So yeah, as maybe we can pick a time and date for those, just to get those all out in one shot. But we can be at town hall, and then we can have everyone driving. We can always bus everybody over.
Right. Everybody, something we need to do after hours too, like after, at 6 or after?
If you do a Monday, the town office is closed on Mondays, so we can, I mean, we've got access to all those buildings. He and I both do.
Yeah.
Library's closed on Mondays. I'd like to have Richard there so if you can get some input from him. Richard's our librarian.
Okay.
What time is your indoor soccer? Is it evening?
That is evening. Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be good if Grace could be part of it.
For the Jordan Small one?
For the town
For the
buildings.
town, yeah, yeah.
So well, it looks like Monday, April 21st is Easter Monday. That might be a day off.
That's
or
right.
something.
I thought Easter was on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, is this no school that week? Okay. I don't know. What do you, Monday the 28th, does that work for everybody?
Good.
28th
For
of
the
April?
town buildings?
For all the town facilities?
On the April 28th?
Yeah.
Yeah, April 28th.
And we don't necessarily have to do it after hours. That's, we could decide on a time, because there's none of the facilities will be open.
Right.
I got my bingo,
What time?
Oh, your bingo? What time's that?
5 to 6:30. That's okay. I could take,
Do we want to
Yeah,
go
I could
before that, or is that going to be tough with
I'm
work?
good all day.
I'm good all day too.
All day?
Yeah.
Okay.
The advantage of being retired.
Want to do 2 p.m. then? 2
That's be really good, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna meet at the town office.
Meet at Town Hall.
We'll meet at Town Hall and we'll drive all over.
So the library plus ours, the Raymond Village Church. Are there any other places where you are located, Joe, that we should also look at? Like Heinz or any of that stuff, or?
We can probably schedule that just to show where summer camp's located, and that's also a possibility of moving over to Jordan Small, depending on what it's being used for. So I think that'd be great too. Yeah, that's about it for rec. Everything else is Camp Agawam. We use fields.
Just the fields?
Yeah, the Sherry Gagnon Park. It's more just leisure recreation right now, and
yeah,
should be good.
Does somebody want to get a hold of Richard then, as far as library?
I'll take care of that.
Right. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Kayla. I don't know if you have an agenda or not, but I guess we're down to bullet D right now. And if you want, we can go around the room real quick and just let you know who we are.
Okay,
If
sure.
you don't know all of us, I'm Pete Lockwood, and I was nominated and voted in as chair.
Okay.
Okay, and
I'm Deb Clark, and I'm recently retired from the Maine State Library.
Grace Lovett, I think we've crossed paths anyway, Kayla.
Absolutely, Grace.
Hi.
You know, Joe. Laurie Wallace.
Hi, Lori.
Debbie H. Friendly Raymond.
Sue Gardy.
And you are Kayla.
I am.
Kayla, you were on the comprehensive plan co-chair, right?
That's correct.
Thank you. So we've already set up some times to get together to do the walkthrough, and we were just in the process of talking about doing the walkouts of the town hall, the library, Raymond Village Church, and Camp Hines.
Right.
Is there any other places that people can think of that they've been thinking of as far as ideas or places where they might want to take a look at in addition to these
In town, in Raymond.
in Raymond?
I mean, public safety building is full, right, in terms of usage. I don't envision
Yeah,
that
it
it would be
isn't.
something that would shift from there. There's some meeting space there to just be
Yes.
aware of, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I think we should include it.
Okay.
I think. Oh, okay.
The Lions Club meets there, and when there's a call, it's impossible to hear yourself think. So, I mean,
I know the Scouts just moved over there too.
oh, did they?
Yep.
Okay.
That's Tuesday, the 22nd. They're gonna have their meeting,
For the,
the public safety building meeting.
That'll be part of that whole facility
428.
tour.
Oh, part of the.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So then the next item, I guess, is everybody all set with D then at this point? If we look at E, the bus tour of municipal buildings that were former schools, again, is that something we want to try to set a date for?
and you said there's a list?
I just gave briefly some examples. Maybe we should kind of look at maybe more examples and maybe something that will fit. But I know for a fact Gorham, their municipal complex was a school that's turned into community center, town hall. And in Westbrook, a school was turned strictly into a community center. So those are two options right off the back that we could visit. Obviously larger municipalities, but might give a good context of what that looks like, that transition. So And I
And the
think
other one I
Gracie
mentioned
said,
is North
It's
Yarmouth.
North Yarmouth.
Yeah, that, is it the Lunt School, Lunt Street School?
No, I think that's in Falmouth. Oh, has that also
Oh,
been changed?
yes, the library had to move in there
Oh.
temporarily while they were adding on. So I remember visiting that and talking to them about some of the issues with having rec programs next to library rooms and programs. So I don't know if that's relevant, but it
Yes.
may give us some insights.
Very relevant.
Yeah.
What about this, I'm sorry, going back for a second. This space is, I know it probably took a ton of money to get it set up for the acoustics and the recording. I don't know if we own these.
So
This or-
we talked about that just a little bit before the meeting got started, and Nathan had some background that was interesting.
We don't have a ton of money into this one. The most I've put into it was the air conditioner just recently. Yeah, it's sitting on blocks.
Okay.
This is a portable classroom that was brought up here 35, 40 years ago. It's no good. The floors are getting soft. We have problems with the water freezing up in the winter here.
Okay.
I think this has served its purpose, and this should be one of the spaces that we should look at for the school.
All right. I think that makes sense, too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, so back to the four towns that we've mentioned. We want to try to do them individually, or, I mean, trying to do all four in one time might be a bit much.
it might be. We might want to narrow down a few, and then we can kind of reach out to, Pete, you and I can start reaching out to these communities and see what they could give us tours when they're accessible.
Yeah, I think it would make sense, yeah, I mean, especially what Deb had mentioned as far as Falmouth in particular, having some concerns with rec and library issues that, it makes sense for us to talk to them first and even see if they're available to let us come and tour their space
Yeah,
and ask them. Okay, so Joe, why don't you and I, we'll get together and do that.
sounds good. I guess maybe in the meantime, too, we can, if anyone thinks of other possible buildings that were converted, just throw it to Pete, too, and maybe put that on the list as well.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so if anybody needs to get a hold of me, and give me my phone number for starters, it's 207-653-9535. And you probably all have my email address because of the setting up of this meeting. All right. Action items, I guess we've already got a few listed. Are there any other things, actions that people can think of that we should be, doing to get this kicked off?
So you did mention there were a lot of ideas already suggested from the community and the draft comprehensive plan. So if we
Yeah.
all reviewed that and those ideas, just to have them fresh. Of course, you've all memorized that plan already, I realize, but some of
Absolutely,
you have anyway.
front to back.
But to just be sure we're remembering those. And I don't know if another type of a survey at some point needs to go out. I mean, not right away, perhaps, after we've had some discussion, but to just be sure there aren't some other ideas to capture. I mean, I don't want to make more work than this might entail for folks, but that was the
Right.
only other thought I had.
Well, I think what is missing from this group, and probably it's because of the realities of life, is a younger perspective. High school kids, post-high school kids. I don't know how we get that, but it would be nice to have it. So a survey would capture that. It's also, I don't know if we have the time to do that.
Yeah, it's tough. We have 60 days from now to complete this charge.
Oh, we do? Okay. I
Yes,
didn't know there
yeah,
was
so
a
once the
timeframe.
meetings start, we have 60 days. So a survey will be tough, but I wonder if trying to how do we, I guess one of the questions would be, how do we capture as many types of visions or aspects that we want to put into that building as possible? Maybe that is reaching out to younger generation and just asking teachers if they could, compile what middle school young kids younger than that might want to see. So that's an option
I
too.
think it's a really good idea to somehow capture the students' ideas, and high school students for that matter too, although, I mean, pretty much they're
Yeah.
gonna be tied to their school, but, I don't know. I didn't realize we had a 60-day timeframe for reporting back, or,
To finish the charge and come back. So
Yes.
In terms of another group, and I think Richard could really speak to this, Richard and Karen from the library, but they have a very active toddler group and
Oh, yeah.
baby group, and those days, there's a lot of kids there. And I wondered if maybe that would be a group to survey or speak to or whatnot, because that'll, the space that they use, what they envision for the space at the new school. Of course, by the time everything's done, their kids will be, well, there's small kids there now, but the kids will be on school. But their input might be helpful, and it'd be easy to reach them. But I wouldn't want to suggest that without, talking to Richard and Karen.
All right. Is that something that you would feel comfortable doing and reporting back to us?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And I'm kind of ashamed to say, but I'm not even sure if the RED program exists.
No, SAC, it's called SAC now.
It's called SAC?
Yeah, it's
So is
school
that
age, and it's like Red, and
It is.
but it's
Okay.
combined with the Wyndham group. It's a big group.
Where are they housed?
In the RSU, and then summers they're here too. They go back and forth. Jordan Small sometimes in the summer, but their weekday program is at RES, and they share the space with Joe's new group.
and Parks and Rec also has a after-school care group as well. That
They do.
is based out of RES. Yeah. Yeah. So in the school time, we share. We're separate, but we share RES, and then in summertime we go to Messer Hall for our camp, and SAC right now is currently at Jordan Small, because RES has been under renovations last few summers.
Mm.
Okay. And then there's also a lot of talk in conference about a community space, that would be for everybody. That's probably something that we ought to try to develop some kind of a concept for how that would fit in and what maybe that charter would look like. And then there was also, I think, as far as Raymond being age-friendly and thinking about our senior folks, we also need to somehow include maybe interviewing or getting ideas for that group as well.
I would nominate Debbie Tarr for that.
They like to talk, so I'm sure if I asked them, they could help me out.
Would you mind posing that question to some of your groups? And
I will definitely do that,
Okay.
but there was something, had to go down to Wyndham for their medical closet, and I was just kind of thinking that might be a nice thing to have up
On my
here.
list.
The place is so hard to get into anyway, but yeah, we have a need of people needing shower chairs. And
Oh, a loan closet. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
There
Yeah.
used to be one in the town office when we first moved here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in Wyndham is great, and they welcome all. I used it myself, but that's a great
yeah,
idea.
because
Deb.
people are great about, they don't use them anymore, you don't need them. They can turn it in, so people don't feel so bad to come and borrow it.
Yeah, that's a
And
great.
they haven't put a time limit on it, because I have people that have had it for 7 or 8 months, I don't know. So that's
Oh, yeah.
nice.
They're very generous there with their
Yeah.
stuff.
Good. All right, I think we're already starting to look like we've got plenty to do in 60 days. So I think that the next time we have item 3 is set up our next meeting. How often does everybody feel comfortable trying to get together? Because, I mean, 60 days is going to go by really fast. Do we need to meet weekly, bi-weekly?
I like weekly until we get some traction.
Sounds good to me, too. Yeah.
So we're just coming up with, let me just be clear that we're just, and I know this was a discussion at one of the select board meetings too. It's just to gather ideas, not to really keep in mind what the potential is or what the, I know we would never try to, this group would never try to figure out exactly the cost of renovations if needed.
Correct.
So, but.
I can review that. Chair Olson, the charge for this group was to not even consider cost, was just to
Sounds good to me.
yeah, right, was to fact find, reach out to groups, gather as much information, as much ideas as possible, and I think the term he used was to just blank canvas, just put it all out there.
And like
then
a wish list.
it's like the
dream.
best wish list you can come up with, and then after this committee's charge is over, then it'll be more of a build-in committee that will have builders and engineers and kind of look and give cost to those grand ideas. So that was the mission of this.
So this may seem a little odd before we go to meeting dates, but the only other thing in the back of my mind is there is still a Raymond Recycling Committee, although it hasn't met for quite some time or done anything for quite some time, and I don't think it's fully, filled with members. But there was a concept discussed a couple of years ago of having a garbage to garden type of a facility, and I wonder if there's a way to, should we just kind of brainstorm those types of ideas for any potential use of the space? That would be something that maybe the time has come, that's a
Right.
central, I don't know how central the location is for some parts of the town, but.
Yeah, I was wondering about
That-
something like that too, Grace, because, I mean, I know that there's a community garden down by the library,
Oh,
and
right.
then there's some spaces there, but I think they also had a garden up here at the Jordan Small Middle School,
Mhm.
right? And maybe even a greenhouse?
They still have it, it's
Mm.
still there.
They still have it, so I mean,
Yeah.
I think that makes sense to look at those and
Mhm.
come up with some ideas as well.
Yeah, the library, the garden at the library, the town doesn't own that land.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it, I just know that the lots, I think, are like $15 to rent them or something like that.
Yeah,
And
but
there's
it's not,
the
yeah.
community garden in addition to that, and then the community garden, the food goes to a food pantry, I think.
Yep, whatever people need to donate, yeah. Most,
Right.
you grow it for yourself, but you donate to the pantry
Okay.
as well. But the people across the street own that land, and they just let us use it.
Oh, okay.
So we really couldn't incorporate that into any of our planning because it's not our land.
All right.
But at the same time, the kids do a school program in the spring to start the veggies or flowers. And then the people who are managing the gardens, I believe, are taking care of them all summer long. So if we had it closer to RES, that kind of makes sense too.
And I was just thinking in terms of the recycling, there's a program where if you're not composting in your home, if there's a way to kind of have a central place where people are bringing that, there might be another service that could be, somehow have space there. I don't know, just a thought.
Well, I think that's part of our mission is to
Okay.
dream as big as we can and.
Okay.
and,
About garbage, good, okay.
Yeah.
I think Wyndham just I think they're starting there.
They've done, yeah, I've seen the truck go around.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're gonna try to meet weekly, is Monday a good day for people?
Is it a good day for other committees that might meet on Monday? Is there any other committees that meet on Monday?
So right now, just checking the calendar, it looks like no committee for the 21st or 28th of April on Monday. Actually, it's pretty, Mondays and Thursdays look like the best for consistent meetings.
Joe, if I may interject.
Of course.
Monday, May 1st, I have to take my sister to the hospital.
Okay,
It's on Thursday.
so that's a Thursday.
Oh, let me look at my calendar
But
again.
that's also, wait, I did say Thursday as well. So,
We're already looking at the 28th at 2
2
p.m.
o'clock.
Maybe we can incorporate a meeting in that time as well. So that kind of lines up. So if we could say maybe April 21st is our next meeting. So this is going to lead me to my first issue is I won't be here. So I'm just wondering, I mean, should we have a co-chair as part of this group also? Because we're going to be moving pretty rapidly and people may already have things planned that, we can't get out of.
I'm sorry, does April 21st mess with, that's a holiday? So
that is a holiday, isn't it?
I'm sure
Okay.
town staff does not wish to be here on their holiday.
Yeah, Easter Monday, yeah.
That's true.
Maybe, I guess we do have a lot of groundwork to set up for the kind of tours and stuff like that. So for this second meeting, would the 28th make more sense? And then from there, go weekly? Is that okay, Pete?
Yeah, that does make sense, Joe.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll shoot for.
It'll be right after our tour, so.
So are we planning for the 28th to be the local visits, and then to meet?
And then we'll meet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And Joe, since you're the interim,
No.
as you're the interim manager, I mean, for setting up meetings, does that go through you typically?
Yeah, me and Mel, who's
And Mel?
on here too. Yep, Mel helps
Thank you, Mel.
coordinate that with Bill as well, so.
Okay.
But yep, we'll set those. So we'll start April 28th. Is 6 p.m. still a good time, or is pushing it later?
6 p.m. is good.
that's fine. What is the 60th day? Do you know offhand?
I don't.
Good question.
I was gonna look, so we might as well do that now, right? Like June 2nd?
We'll have Memorial Day in there.
Wait a second, no, I'm way off.
It's about June 9th.
I'm way off.
Say 8 weeks roughly.
What was that, Kayla?
So it's about June.
It's about 8 weeks roughly, so you're looking more like June 9th.
June 9th? Do we have to confirm that with anybody, or like the select board?
We can set up just kind of a review of what we've gathered and everything. That can go on the select board agenda for their meeting. So everything else we can schedule within us. So all those Monday meetings and those will be.
So we want to
discussed.
just go ahead now and look at every Monday from now till June 9th?
Sounds good. Yeah, I think there's only one other, maybe Memorial Day. So I would probably say the 2 Mondays would be Easter Monday and which is the next Monday, the 21st, and May 26th. We shouldn't do either for Memorial Day.
So if we have a meeting on the 28th after the bus tour, we'll need Bill to coordinate the taping of the meeting without actually knowing when we'll be done. Okay. Unless we want to meet at
Correct.
6.
Right. I couldn't imagine going that long. I probably would be done by, I'd say 5 p.m.
Oh, definitely.
You think so? Yeah.
Give everybody a break in between and then come back at 6? Or
Yeah. Eat some dinner and
Okay.
I'll go to dinner
we have the bus. We can go eat
and we
something.
can eat something. That's right.
There is one other date, Joe, that I'm away is May 19th.
May 19th. Okay.
I would be available the 22nd.
I guess Pete, I don't know if maybe we just have those days as no mean weeks and see how we're doing as far as compiling
I
everything.
think that makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
We find that we need to pick up some additional meetings, we could look at Thursdays.
Yeah, like that might be good. Is that okay, Bill?
That's fine.
Perfect.
Thank you, Bill. I can get a hold of Rolf too, and I guess have a discussion with him and just let him know that we kicked it off and where we're at, and when would he like to put us on his agenda to, you know,
Yeah. Do presentation.
see where we're at, yeah. All right, does anybody else have additional thoughts before we move on?
I just have a question for the after-school programs that use RES. What are the ages? Is it just elementary school kids?
Yes, right now it's just the RES grade, so K through 4th grade.
There's some middle school kids that come over,
Middle school
5th graders
gets
that come over and do the
transported.
SAC
Oh,
program.
for SAC, okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know about 6, but I know
Okay.
there's 5th grade, it's open to them.
Okay. Yeah, so Camp Raymond, we just do the K through 4th grade
Okay.
group. And then our summer camp is K through 5th grade. I'm not sure what SAC's age range is for that.
Well, it's the same as
Same. Is it a little bit older? I'm pretty sure.
It might be 12 years old.
Okay.
at SAC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they might go to
Yeah,
K through
not a
6th
lot
grade.
get off the bus,
Yeah.
probably about 6 or 7 kids that got transported by bus over to RES.
Hmm.
So,
mm.
Great.
And it's just after school or it's before school as well?
At both, yeah,
both
before and after, yeah.
And we don't have before school for Camp Raymond.
And that program, they're building a brand-new childcare facility in Wyndham, which is going to be used for pre-K too, which is really awesome. For probably the Wyndham kids, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a big issue. I know that I was grateful for Red, but I'm wondering, we're talking K through 4th, K through 5th. What do some of the older kids do? And should we be thinking about space for them as well, a safe place that they can go to?
Yeah, I just wrote down in my notes here for myself to kind of think about study hall, kind of a
Right.
space.
Homework
If
help
we-
program, something like that.
A what? I'm sorry?
Like a homework helper program,
Yes.
something like that.
Absolutely, that would be where the library, I think Richard's got kinds of things thinking about that, and they could even, maybe we could get like a bus stop when they can get off the bus there, which would be great. Yeah, that would be, combined with the community center and, yeah.
Right.
We've had a teen program and I work for Saco Parks and Rec that would bus from the middle school to our community center. And then we'd have a separate area for the teen center, and then we'd have the younger, I think it was K through 2nd grade that had their own area as well. So we can kind of segment them too, so they're not all together in the same space.
Right.
Hmm.
That'd be interesting to be able to reach out to some of the parents that have older kids to see what are they doing? What would their desires be?
Or maybe we don't want to know what they're doing, but what they
Well-
would like them to be doing.
Right. Maybe they don't want to tell us what they're doing. So. Okay. We're ready to move on. I guess item 4 would be public comments. Absolutely, Peter.
Peter Levitt, 2 Levitt Road. So I appreciate the conversation and the discussion about the comprehensive plan as far as there is a wealth of information there. However, something that you would not find in the plan directly, and it is a totally unscientific survey, but since you were discussing surveys, at the 2024 June election, we surveyed individuals leaving the election and basically gave them the top 3 choices from 6 different categories of how to best repurpose, or what they would like to see as far as repurposing Jordan Small School. And I'll just give you this for information only, but since the time is short that you have, and since it's going to be difficult to be doing surveys, this might be helpful as far as taking the temperature of the community. So the number one number was 303 for a community center. It was 258 for recreation. It was 171 for a library. It was 139 for town office. It was 104 for daycare. And there were 42 others, which we also had a category so someone could just put in some other. I will tell you, if memory serves me, it was everything from a swimming pool to sell it.
To what?
To sell it.
To sell it.
Yeah, sell it. You know, it's real estate, the town
Oh,
owns it.
sell it, I'm
Sell it.
sorry, sell it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I just thought I'd provide you with that information. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it, Peter, thank you.
Okay.
All right. And there isn't anybody else on Zoom to comment, I don't think, unless Mel wants to. So then item number 5, the Vision Committee comments. We can go around the room. Nathan,
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
any additional comments
No,
as far
we're
as?
good, thank you.
Okay. Go ahead. No comments? Kayla? Comments?
Do we want to start making a list? Use this time, we have till 7:30 tonight. Do we want to start?
Sounds like.
I mean, we all have some things in mind, certainly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a brainstorming opportunity and just get that list started. I think it's a good idea. Right. Joe?
Is this for, in regards to the brainstorming?
We're gonna do the brainstorming. I think we're gonna do the brainstorming.
I got tons of ideas for Parks and Rec. I mean, our biggest battle there is just space, and the ability to use a space that's not competing with an outside group. So, I mean, we could house all of our child care programs through there. We could have all of our basketball through there, and not have to limit them out on Saturdays. I mean, I can think of so many things. A lot of it is just the ability to see what the community wants, and then, you know, I've been asked about cheering. I'm like, that's a hard sport to have with mats and tumbling and all that. That could be housed there in a different room. Could be possibly in the cafeteria. That could be more multi-purpose. I know Bill's talked about using the stage for possible, battle of the bands for teens and other type of shows. So there could be a music component, theater component, also built in to Parks and Rec. Yeah, I could go on and on.
So since Rec has its representative here and has so many ideas, would you be willing to just go ahead and put that list together so that, and then present it to the rest of us, and Lori doesn't have to try to write down all of your thoughts as they're
Sure, my assistant also would be
pouring out of you?
be more than willing to do that. And,
that'd be great.
I should have said this before, but I know library and Parks and Rec, we do have the ability to have email blasts, so we can compile, we can send that out to all of our users as well.
Constant contact?
Yeah, so we use Constant Contact, and our database, Rec Desk, is what is balanced, so we have about 4,000 unique emails. So we can send that out pretty quick, so if it's okay with you
How representative
guys.
is that of the town, do you think? Pretty close to
I would
selling
say,
it?
yeah, I think when we broke it down, I would say maybe 1/4 is Raymond residents. And then a lot of that is Wyndham residents using Tasseltop Park or other type of programming that we do. So I can also only send it out to Raymond residents. So that would be about probably 1,000. So,
Kayla, I think you had a question.
Are you asking for ideas?
I think we're working up to
Are we
that.
working up to
Yeah,
that?
I think,
I don't mind spewing my entire list.
You have an entire list?
I
Okay.
do.
Can I just ask a quick Parks and Recreation?
of course.
The bus you have, is it allowed to be used for other purposes, or is it solely under that particular department?
So, yeah, it's pretty much has to be kind of a program or an event. I have been asked if people could use it for kind of their outside events, and that's where the insurance piece is. It's not great. So, say if we're going to like the main Red Claws for the basketball, and that's an event, we can use that to go there because that's
Okay.
through Parks and Rec. We're collecting the tickets and liability through our software. So
Thank you.
yeah, and we do use it for age-friendly Raymond as well. We're into the Pen Pal program, and we can use it for other type of events as well. So.
Okay, when we, yeah, go ahead, Kayla.
Are you sure I can wait?
Well, Richard and I have been talking a little bit about some of the needs for the library
Yep.
spaces, and so I was wondering if we could do the same for the library as Joe's doing for rec.
That
would be
Maybe we come back with our, excuse me, with our lists, our wish lists, and
I think that
I'm
would
not
be
sure how you want them
very good.
presented, if you want them ahead in email, or you want them just listed off at the public meeting, or?
If we do it by email, then it will give each of us a chance to kind of absorb it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't mind doing it that way, that would be great.
That's fine.
All right. Are we good with letting Kayla fire off here?
Yes.
Okay.
So my ideas are all based on the idea of filling.
Excuse me, Kayla?
Yes.
Could you pull a mic?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. It's difficult to do. My ideas are all based on filling the space with little to no investment for renovations on the inside. So that's those. So keep that in mind as I'm listing all of this. And it also would be centered around allowing some outside organizations to rent or lease space. And then others would be purely community. So I think we could offer veteran services. Veteran services. We could host local basketball tournaments for money. I mean, they would pay us for the space. You could have exercise-related things in there. You could rent it out for a spin studio, music studio. You could offer conference rooms, which again could be rented out. Library programs. So I know we have a small library, but they could use the space for their library programs, as already mentioned. Food pantry, family services, a senior space, media space.
All right, so I'm not keeping up with you.
Okay.
So food pantry.
Yeah. Food pantry, family services. And I know we'd all mentioned senior space, but a dedicated room or two just for senior programs. Media space. These are all along the same lines. And I had mentioned the small business rentals, so you could allow someone to offer a wellness or, anyway, trying to think of how to also make this be income generating. Before and after school programs, that's already been mentioned. Offering a thrift store, it's along the same lines of a medical loan store. Trying not to be too repetitive. Allowing the blood donations there.
Blood drives.
Yep, blood drives. Did I mention adult ed?
No.
No. We've already talked about childcare and rec programs. That was on my list. And this is really mirrored also off of the Westbrook Community Center. They really did not renovate that space at all.
Really?
And they offer a lot there, yeah. There is a pool there,
There was a
though.
pool, yeah.
And that, I believe that was constructed after the fact.
I think that was an add-on, yeah.
Yeah, as an add-on. But they each room to the school offers sort of a different dedicated space.
You mean entrance or actual space?
Each room
Both.
in that, so it was a school that looks much like Jordan Small Middle School with rooms, and you go down hallways and there's rooms. And each room is dedicated to whether they've rented it out to a local business, or it's a senior space, or it's a media space, or, whatever have you. So they have a room just for veteran services, that sort of idea. But they really in my opinion, maximized the space with little to no investment. I think they've had to redo some bathrooms. That is something I've noticed here on this plan is the middle school has very limited bathroom capabilities.
Oh, yeah, we'll need to renovate the bathrooms, yeah. They're smallish.
But that was sort of a list of all the possible things that you
Westbrook doesn't have the town hall there, though, right?
Nope, they don't have any town,
Any municipal?
any municipal things in there. That's correct.
Yeah, I believe the town offices are separate, completely separate building.
Yeah, there isn't a library there. None of their municipal related things are there.
Hey, Kayla, I have a bunch of things too along the same lines. And again, with the specific purpose defining that space. The senior center, I was thinking for the exercise classes, adult ed, lectures, movies, things like that. Tax assistance, I know that Southern Maine Agency on Aging gets involved with that at the local level. Hours for elder abuse conversations, and then intergenerational programs. Got the library, food pantry, and this may already be, but a warming emergency center. I don't know what we have formally to do that, if we have, a setup with X number of cots, but we could make it better known. I'm assuming when you said media space, I wrote down tech center. Is that what you mean?
Well, you could design it, a media space, I'm not sure exactly what you could do with that, but it could be a place where, library offers computers for people to use. It could be a space dedicated for someone to come in and utilize technology if they don't have it. And it could also be a space to utilize in this sense where the broadcast studio would be considered a media.
I was thinking too of gaming clubs for the youth. In a controlled environment, I'm not sure what that would look like. Meeting space for Scouts, Lions Clubs, substance abuse groups, book club. I know a lot of these spaces are used by at the library. We've got a full cafeteria there. It's commercial grade, so I was thinking senior meals, fundraising, cooking, nutrition classes, and then renting the space also. You had mentioned family services. I was thinking too, after learning at the last select board meeting that we have a local health officer, I was thinking we could do vaccine clinics, that sort of thing, and the blood drives. Thought of the gardens as well, because there's already a greenhouse there. And I think that's it. And the medical equipment loan closet. So I think by seeing the other communities, that's going to really help us see what's possible.
Just to add a couple of things on top of that we're seeing in libraries right now is need for remote workspace. So people need to come, and sometimes hybrid workers or home-based businesses, they need a place to go. We need certainly small and private meeting spaces. So if somebody's meeting with their social worker or caseworker, or a non-custodial parent is trying to spend time with a child, we're seeing a lot of requests for that kind of space, telehealth appointments, those kinds of things. We're also seeing maker spaces, like do-it-yourself spaces, and library of things spaces. So that kind of goes along with your closet. But it could also be a space to borrow small appliances or energy efficient, instruments to measure the cold spots in your house. So a lot of things like that seed libraries. That goes along great with the community gardening. So there's a lot of things like that I think we can add to the list. And along with a teaching kitchen. I know we talked about community senior nutrition. Teaching kitchen is really helpful in that sense. So just to add a few things in.
So what other organizations are there in our town other than, you just mentioned Lions Club and Scouts I had written down, but are there others as well to be thinking about what types of needs there are, other than age-friendly? We've got that, yeah. But are there, I can't think of any, but is there a list?
Is there a business, like a BNI sort of thing?
Maybe on the website, there might be some things.
Oh, there is a community listing.
Yeah, yep, I'll look at that.
Yeah, so that's a lot of ideas already to start with.
So we're done.
I was
Historical
going to say, we just make a
Society.
really long list, we can be done.
Right. And I don't know, that's maybe a question that for this group and for the selectmen is, do they want us to weight these ideas in any way? But then I have to think, how do we go about doing that? We're just, from this committee, it would have to be something that would be bigger, I would think, to get more town people involved to weight the ideas.
While I was sitting here, I was thinking my granddaughter is in 7th grade. And I just wondering, I might be able to go in, maybe they could work with me, maybe they'll hold 7th grade and we could brainstorm ideas, that they would think of. Because you're talking about 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Right.
So that might be an idea.
Absolutely.
They're used to me going in.
That'd be great.
And the other thing, just a comment, I just think that food closets are a really great idea. I find out now that the food pantry is only open one day a month now. I've had in the past to have to supply to some seniors who wouldn't have food, to get to that next food pantry. So if we had a place with canned goods and box stuff, that would really be needed.
Right.
And Pete, I may suggest something. I know Wyndham is also doing the same thing with their middle school. So maybe we should reach out, also see what their blueprint is of their steps for this task as well.
Yeah.
I thought they
That's
were
a good idea.
incorporating the two groups together, the concept and the functionality.
For them,
That's what I thought. I
Okay.
read.
Yeah, it is. It's,
They're doing it all at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still.
Yeah, we can still learn
So
from them.
just, so see what their gathering phase is like, and
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Which school are they shutting down?
The middle school.
Middle school.
They're located on the same campus as high
same
school right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right across from the high school.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do with the other building that they use. Used to be a bomb shelter in the World War II.
All right.
Yeah, what's that school? Yeah, they've been using it as a school for
Is
years.
that the real school?
The what?
The real school behind them?
No, the real school that's gone now, but that's up by the prison, up that way. No, it's the, they've been using it for space there for years, though. I wonder what they're gonna do with that. 'Cause they've renovated that heavily. They've really, really did a good job renovating that building. It's very useful, but.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of opportunity for us to learn along this journey as we reach out to some of these other groups, which will be good.
Maybe we could tour the middle school as part of this. I mean, just to look and see what that school's like, and maybe with the committee.
With the Wyndham, the Wyndham Middle School?
Maybe we're somebody from the committee, maybe we could combine a tour of the school and see what their ideas are for that school.
Yeah, we can reach out to the committee chair there and
Okay. See if we can include that one. It seems to be happening a lot around our area. Schools are getting turned into available space.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
Is there a generator at the middle school building right now?
Yes.
There is, so, because emergency response,
It
I
only
think-
runs the heating system and the water and heat. It's minimal lighting. It's probably about a quarter to half the size of what it should be to run that building.
internet access still?
I'm sorry.
Internet access would still be available?
I don't know. I would assume so.
Or at least part of the building, maybe?
I would think the infrastructure's there.
Yeah, I think probably, and if this one is, we stay all powered up. This is all generated and the town office is. So I don't know, but I would assume yes.
The
The
internet, we
school,
usually lose internet though when we lose.
Right.
So the
Right.
internet doesn't work. We have power,
Right.
but no
If
internet.
you have internet, we still can run the internet out of here with
Oh, you
with
can?
our stuff. All our town functions work
Oh, okay.
off generator.
Okay, Kayla?
the middle school cannot stay open when there's a loss of power. The generator does not provide sufficient, I think, running water to support. So, I mean, if they lose power, they can't stay open, which means anything you would want to do there is not going to work.
That's what, the generator is about a quarter of the size of what it needs to be, and it's just for the bare necessities, but that's it.
So based on some of the ideas that we might come up with, if it would include staying open, then whoever becomes part of the committee to look at actually putting some of these things into reality would have to look at facility upgrades.
If we went into that, I think that's one of the facility upgrades that has not been changed. That was put in 97 or 8. So that generator's lived its life. So it would have to be upgraded. That would probably be in part of the plan of the renovation plans and stuff.
Would have to be.
Right, you wouldn't want to have it be a designated warming and cooler shelter if it didn't have appropriate generator
For
backup.
sure.
Right. I don't think any of those types of facility upgrades, though, should limit us on what we come up with for ideas. That would be for the next committee to
Correct.
kind of figure that out.
But we can add it to the list, because I think emergency response is probably going to be a strong
Yeah.
idea, thought for that building. If we're trying to build a community center,
So what do we have now? Do
For
we have any?
warming center,
Yeah,
the public safety building, the town office,
okay.
The library?
And
and the library. Library's
Oh,
not
and the
on
library.
generator.
Okay.
No, but it did, wasn't it open at one point for
Yes, yeah.
something?
Yeah, when we had
Or warming?
They had lost power there, that's all.
Yeah,
So,
that's what it
yeah.
The
was.
village doesn't normally, that section of town, it does lose power, but it's very rare.
That's right, oh yeah, that's right. Even during the ice storm, they didn't,
Nope.
they were out for a day and that was
Correct.
it. Lucky them. Jeez.
Is there a specific reason for that? Is that because they're close to 302
It's
corridor, or?
3-phase going down through there, it's on the main line.
Oh, okay.
Public safety helps that out. They're right on the end of the street there, so that helps.
Yeah.
And it's just one of them things. It's more luck than anything, I think. That would be, to get a true answer, that'd be a CMP question. My opinion, it's luck. But they're right. The ice storm, I think the village fire station, the old, where my office is now, lost the power for maybe a day, I think.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Our Sand Salt building, we never lost power.
Wow.
So just luck, I think.
And you know, up by the schools where RES and Jordan Small, that corridor there rarely loses power also.
Right. Yeah, my
Rarely.
sister lives up there, and she says she rarely loses power.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that warming center's really good. A year ago in April, when we lost that electricity, that big storm and everything, Jordan Bay was out for almost 5 days. And really, we had no place for them to go. And
Yep.
then you get, if they have a pet, some places don't take pets. And yeah, that was really bad. So we've had a few meetings about disaster preparedness stuff, but haven't gotten a real solution yet.
Yeah, that place should have a generator.
Yeah, that was a big
So
communication.
they have oxygen and medications.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody have any additional ideas or comments that you want to bring up at this time? Or are we going to be ready for our next meeting when we go and start looking at some other opportunities?
I'm sure that'll generate some more ideas too.
Right.
The more we
That's what I'm
do that.
So the 28th, which is the next meeting, that's just a tour of the facilities in town. Is that correct?
And then
At
a
2
meeting
o'clock.
at
At
And a
2
meeting,
o'clock,
too.
and then, yeah, we'll have a
6.
meeting at 6
A meeting at 6 and the 28th?
on the 28th. Yeah, the 28th will be kind of a full day for us, I guess.
All right.
Good way to really get this thing ramped up.
Do the minutes have to be sent to Mel for posting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it by as soon as possible? Is there a time limit? Is there a rule?
I believe this is a different committee, so I think probably within 2 days would be more than enough time.
Do you want the list from the library and Parks and Rec, that longer list, to be excluded from the minutes I send out? And we'll talk about them at the next meeting?
So we can,
Okay.
yeah, so we
Give you
can,
guys some time to
yeah, we
look
can
at it.
both
Great.
venture out on that and start compiling
Sounds good.
answers.
Lori, were you able to keep up with all the ideas and stuff?
Not at all, but you won't know until 2 days from now.
Well, thank you for taking that on.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have an emotion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Second.
I guess we're all set for tonight.